So how do we go about making Halsin into this shapeshifter of destruction? I've had to load up an old save and I didn't have him as a moon druid, so I am actually respecking him. I've gone and asked Withers, can I change my class? But what I have been told by Neprostoman is we can just go with the stats that he has, and these are the stats that he starts with if you just take him into your party. For the cantrips, take Shillelagh and Thorn Whip. So we've got Strength of 10, Dexterity 14 and Constitution 14, Intelligence 8, Wisdom 17 and Charisma 12. So as any shapeshifter would do, you would take Circle of the Moon. Level 3, we don't need to choose anything. So we're going to take Guidance here, and because it's probably one of the best feats in the game, Tavern Brawler with 1 extra in Constitution. We'll be getting extra Constitution later. Level 5 will be the last level in Druid. Now we get Wild Strike, which means we can make an additional attack after making an unarmed strike while in Wild Shape. I will say this is in Tactician mode. I didn't have a save ready to do this in Honor mode. But that's the last level of Druid. We're going to go to Barbarian next. The nice thing at level 2 is we get Reckless Attack. I'm going to go for Wild Heart, and we're going to go for Bear Heart. This will give us resistance to pretty much all damage, all except psychic damage. And I suppose if we really wanted to, we could use Unrelenting Ferocity. Plus, it's Halsin. I mean, why wouldn't you go for Bear? For the feats here, we're simply going to go with 1 extra Constitution, 1 extra Wisdom to kind of even them out. We get no change here, no choice here to make as a Barbarian. But it does mean we get extra attack now. Now for animal aspects, we're going to take Honey Badger. If you're poisoned, frightened or charmed at the start of your turn, you have a 50% chance to begin raging without expending a rage charge. And we're going to be trying to use this as much as possible. And for the last level, I'm going to go for Monk. This is so that in our human form, we still get an armored defense. We've got a decent wisdom, or good wisdom, an okay dexterity, and also helps unarmored defense while in wild shape. I've already outfitted him ahead of time. I'm not going to go through all the locations of all these items, but I will put the items in the description so you can look them up later. I will go through the items now though. So we have the Shapeshifter hat. We have the Shapeshifter hat, so we get an extra wild shape charge, which kind of goes with the whole he is wild shaping. Flesh Melter Cloak. Now, I wasn't actually told what cloak to take. I added this one myself. So whenever a creature deals melee damage to the wearer, that creature takes 1d4 acid damage. By itself, that's not very much. But we have the Bone Spike Garb. Apart from getting temporary hit points whenever we rage, which is great, any attackers will take 3 piercing damage, which will stack on top of this 1d4 acid damage. Herbalist's Glove, absolutely essential, because we will be getting poisoned. Boots of Uninhibited Kushigor. The wearer deals additional damage equal to the wisdom modifier with unarmed strikes. Well, we're going to be making unarmed strikes and we've got a good wisdom. Corvid token. Again, this is more for the theme of it than anything else. While wearing the amulet, the wearer's jump and flying speed increase by 5 feet, which is cool. And we gain the Featherfall condition. Featherfall's effect will persist while we are polymorphed. And we can polymorph into a Dire Raven. The main thing is we've pretty much constantly got Featherfall and we can jump / fly a little bit further. The Whispering Promise, we will be healing, because we have the Ring of Regeneration. At the beginning of your turn, the ring activates and heals you for 1d4 hit points. This links with the Herbalist's Glove to remove poison and also helps us stay blessed. The Club of Hill Giant Strength, because we need to be using Shillelagh for this Iron Vine shield, while the wielder is holding a weapon empowered with Shillelagh, and when they are hit by melee attack, the attacker takes 4 piercing damage. So we've got 3 items, the shield, the armor, and the cloak, which all deal damage in retaliation to being hit with a melee attack. Lastly, the dead shot. The bow isn't really important. We're not going to be using it to attack, so anything that gives you some sort of buff. I just chose this one because it gives us improved critical. We're going to be making several attacks every turn, so we might get a tiny increase in damage. So why Halsin, you might ask? And apart from him just being the coolest druid, buffest druid around, he gets the special Cave Bear Wild Shape. Now I'm back to my traditional spot for testing things out.
Assaulting someone.
So the first turn, we've got to do this in quite a specific order. On the first turn, we use Shillelagh, because then we get the Iron Vine shield in play. After that, actually, I'm told you can use basically any other spell you want. Perhaps I just want to go and try and knock this dude down. Alright, give him a couple of whacks. I do just want to show off the retaliation damage. There we are. So 2 from the cloak, 4 from the shield, and 3 from the ropes. And we can do this with many people. If you want to. I mean, you are taking away his hit points. It's not necessarily the cleverest thing in the world. Now, look. Oh, he's finished his turn. Not quite. Hopefully, you have been collecting some rotten food. I've gone and found some rotten food. The great thing is, these foods do not take an action or bonus action to eat. So I've just become poisoned. Why would I do that? Well, that's what the honey badger aspect is for. Because at the start of the next turn, it's a 50% chance to begin raging without expending a rage charge. Perhaps if I know I'm going to get into a fight, perhaps I can start off poisoned. So at the beginning of his turn... Right, it didn't work out. He isn't poisoned. So, I mean, we can rage, but the problem is wild shaping is also a bonus action. So I'm going to continue relying on the fact there's a 50% chance for this to work. In the meantime, perhaps I can heal myself a tiny bit. Let's not forget to eat some rotten food. Strange as that kind of sounds. Interestingly, if the enemy scores a critical hit on you, then the retaliation damage they take is also a critical hit. Although the only one that's affected by that is the cloak, so 2d4 damage. The others are set amounts based on your wisdom and constitution modifiers. There we go. So he's not concentrating on cool lightning because he's in a rage.
None can withstand nature's wrath.
And then, because of the fact he's in a rage, he's got 15 temporary hit points, which is really good because he's resistant to almost all damage. I don't think anyone here will be doing psychic damage anyway. And then we can start going to town. So, multi-attack, please. 1, 2. And he gets another attack. Oh, critical miss. Interestingly, he gets 3 attacks here. But yeah, I want to throw my hands up in the air with that 2 critical misses in a row. Oh well. So we're going to go up to the archer. Unfortunately, the retaliation items don't work in wild shape form. Now, we can only use multi-attack once per battle, sadly.
I shall see you laid low.
Thankfully, bears have got a high strength, so they can jump pretty far. Bearing in mind, he also has Featherfall if I want to jump off somewhere high. So yeah, we're dealing 2d6 plus 1d4 plus 2 lots of strength because of Tavern Brawler. Bears have got a strength of 20, which is amazing. So pretty much always going to be hitting. And this poor fist basically stands no chance. Alternatively, if you don't want to wait for Halsin to be poisoned so he can rage, we can actually just go out in human form. So we can start with Shillelagh like before, have an attack, reckless attack, why not?
You were witnessed assaulting someone.
Then on the first, or maybe you want to just wait one turn to see if you do rage on the first or second turn. So you can manually rage, and next turn we'll see the damage coming out. So on the subsequent turn, right, we're blessed, which is cool. We can attack, or in fact, I don't have to attack even. Just really want to show off flurry of blows. Because of Tavern Brawler, and the fact we've got these boots, we do quite a high amount of damage. So we've got our strength added, our wisdom added because of the boots, and because of Tavern Brawler, our strength modifiers added again, and an extra 2 from the rage. So even in human form, Halsin is able to deal out the damage. We could have, maybe should have used reckless attack first. Not that it was needed. But do bear in mind that the damage from the club itself is much, much lower because we don't have any bonuses from strength or Tavern Brawler, but we still get our wisdom and rage bonuses there. Let's try entering a battle while poisoned. So let's use Shillelagh. Or not, because it gets counterspelled. I forgot to make Halsin poison last turn, so I'm going to do my best. I'm going to throw some poison in the hopes that it poisons Halsin. It's not likely to, though. There we are, perfect. And it didn't work out. And this time, remember to eat a rotten carrot. And here we go. Now I understand some people might not like the fact that this isn't certain that Halsin is going to rage, but you do have options in the human form, as well as being awesome while wild-shaped. Pretty solid. And the great thing is he's got 60 hit points here, but remember he is resistant to pretty much all damage. So effectively it's 120 hit points on top of his human form. And if he really needs to, you can just use a wild shape charge to wild shape whenever. You don't have to wait for the rage, but it is best if you are raging. In terms of items, the one we get the latest is the Ring of Regeneration. You can, if you're careful, pick up raspberries during Act 1, I think in Act 3 as well. You can get quite a lot of them, and just like rotten food, eating raspberries does not take an action or a bonus action. So let me know what you think of this build. I quite like it. I like the theme. We're building upon Halsin because he's the only one who gets this cave bear wild shape form. A massive thank you to Neprostoman. He's been a long time viewer and contributor towards the channel. I've shown his builds before. He spends a lot of time coming up with unique builds and I absolutely love it. So thank you very much. Thank you also to you for watching and to all the members of my channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.